Welcome to Blind Like Me, the podcast.
We share inspirational stories from the visually impaired community and explore accessible technology and services.
Blind Like Me is a community of shared experiences, motivating each other to break down barriers.
Your host is Tim Black.
Tim has been in the broadcast industry for over 30 years in Canada and was the first legally blind student in British Columbia to attend public school.
Tim has never let his disability stand in the way of his goals.
Hey, it's Tim, and welcome to another edition of Blind Like Me. We hope you had a fantastic summer season. We took a little bit of a break, relaxed, and recharged the batteries, and now we're ready to go with some new shows here on Blind Like Me. And of course, if you've got a story or a story idea, we'd love to hear from you. Simply go to our website, blindlikeme.net, and click Contact Us. Or you can send us an email to info@timblackonair.com, info@timblackonair.com. We'll have all that information for you at the end of the show again. Well, this week we get a chance to meet a lady by the name of Kimberly Solis. She's on TikTok. She's part of the Blind Talk community, and she's the blind woman who says she's taken over TikTok. You'll find Kimberly dancing, telling stories, and educating the sighted community about being blind visually impaired. Kimberly Solis is our guest this week on Blind Like Me. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Excellent. Now, you are in, what part of the U.S. are you in?
I'm actually in Texas.
How are things in Texas today?
Hot.
Do you guys ever get cold? Does it ever get cold in Texas?
You know what? These last 2-3 years, it's been pretty bad, but I don't know what you consider bad depending on where you are.
Well, I'm in Canada. I'm in Canada, so we get snow, right?
Yes.
And we're in the same time zone, but I'm in central Canada, so we'll get minus 40 in the winter Celsius. So, you guys I know don't get that.
No, I think like the low probably been in like the 20s.
Yeah. All right. Fine. Right. We'll just move on with the conversation then, and I'll let you enjoy that. How did you, we're going to talk about your site and all that other great stuff, but I want to talk about your TikTok fame. How did you get yourself into TikTok, and really what made you want to do what you're doing? Because as I said at the start, you're the blind woman that is taking over TikTok, and you kind of look like Mariah Carey as well.
I get told that often. It's crazy. I was actually in a very horrible marriage for almost 10 years. And then I went through a divorce in 2019. And it was really me trying to find myself.
Okay.
And I got on TikTok. My oldest son introduced it to me. It was around the time frame where COVID hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was like, Mom, we should get on TikTok. And I'm like, what's TikTok? I didn't even know what it was. And he goes, it's a blind community on there. I'm like, really? And so then, I just put myself out there, and it was like, I was finding myself, I was finding who I am, I was finding my confidence, like everything just kind of formed me as a person just through this app.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. I think it's amazing. I didn't think people were going to follow me.
And how many followers do you have now?
46.1K.
Wow. That really beats my 300. And you really just kind of decided that, as you say, you're going to put yourself out there and just have fun with it. And how is the the Blind Talk community reacted to that? Have you connected with a whole bunch of other people?
Oh, yes. I know so many people in like the Blind Talk, blind creators. I've actually had a mom trip recently with a bunch of blind mothers.
Oh, really?
Yes. And we met in person, about 10 of us. So that was fun. So yes, I've connected with a lot of people on there.
Isn't that wild? Are you guys kind of all in the same area or what?
No. We all from different states. We all flew into Florida, and everybody was like flying all across the world to meet each other in Panama City. It was amazing.
Oh my goodness. Now, I didn't even know that was the thing going on. That's really cool.
Yeah. We call each other the Sisterhood of the Traveling Canes. We made our own page on TikTok as well.
Okay. I'm going to have to follow that now.
Yeah, super cute.
That is awesome. And were you guys able, obviously, I mean, this is probably an amazing thing because, I mean, there's so many moms out there who are blind or visually impaired, who are like yourself raising kids and, probably looking for some support and great ideas. And I bet you guys were able to swap stories and share ideas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was amazing. I honestly felt like I've known these girls my whole life because we're connecting on a level that I've never connected with anybody with.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all going through the same thing. We're all losing something. We're all losing our sight or have lost our sight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was so beautiful. And then we all traveled for the first time on our own without a fully sighted person. So that was a bigger deal.
Was that the first time you've done that without somebody, or?
Oh, all of us. It was all of our first time traveling
really?
on our own. Yes.
Wow. What was that like for you?
It was so scary. It was so scary. It was nerve-wracking. I was shaking. I was afraid that I was going to get lost.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot. I didn't know about TSA. I didn't know nothing about what that was. And you can have help, in the airport. Like, it was a learning experience for me.
What was the one big takeaway from traveling by yourself for the first time?
Well, I didn't know about the TSA. And so when I booked my flight with a Southwest, I just put that I was, blind, visually impaired. And they said that I was going to have somebody assist me. And well, that didn't happen.
Okay.
And so then I came across a man with my boyfriend helped me. And it was the man that worked for TSA. And he was like, yeah, next time, you got to go with us.
Oh, well, there you go. You learned something then. When you all got together, what was that like for you? I mean, here you are meeting people from all across the States.
Yeah.
How did y'all find each other?
Oh my gosh. So we all got customized T-shirts. So we all wore the same T-shirt.
Okay. Awesome.
And so yes, and so everybody had like an assistant, or we would have like I had somebody help me, and I would just say, "I'm looking for girls that have the same shirt as me," and that was literally how it happened.
Oh my goodness, that is so cool.
It was fun.
Well done. Let's talk a little bit about your vision. You are blind in your left eye. I'm trying to remember because we're opposite.
Yes.
So you're blind in your left eye and you have limited sight in your right eye.
Yes, pigmentosa.
Retinitis pigmentosa. So tell me a little bit about life for yourself. Have you always been visually impaired blind, or did this come on later in life?
I was born with our RP, and I didn't get diagnosed until I was 7. So this is all I know. The amount of vision that I've lost recently actually just happened as of last year.
Okay. And how much have you lost? What happened?
My left eye.
Okay. Your left eye. All right. And yes. Just totally went dark kind of thing?
Yeah. It's like nothing's there. It doesn't exist.
And what was that like for you, the experience of that?
It was interesting. I remember, when I started noticing that I was bumping into walls on my left side of my face. And I was just like, something's off. Like, what's going on here? Or I would like reach for a cup or a glass, mm-hmm. and I would see it, but then I'd be off. Right. And didn't understand what was going on. So I went to the eye doctor, and they had me, read the letters on the wall. Mm-hmm. So I covered my left eye, and I, looked at my right, and all I can see is the big E. That's it. Okay. And then on my left side, I closed my right eye, and I looked at my left, and it was just like, I see the white wall background and I see the big E, but it was like fading in and out, spots jumping all over the place, spinning. And I just could not make out what it was. It's like my brain knew that it was an E, but I was not seeing an E. It was just not there. Right.
And what was going through your mind when that happened?
It was emotional because it's like, even though I'm mentally prepared, it's like when you are losing a sight again, it's like you have to go through it all the time. Like every time I go to the doctor, it's like, oh, I lost this much, or I lost this much. So it's like, it hits me emotionally. But then I'm like, I just, kind of get through it, and just, it's my normal. It's normal for me.
I like that. It's my normal. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people who are visually impaired or blind forget to say that that it's their normal.
Yes.
and we have to treat it as that's who we are, right?
Yes.
What's one of the biggest challenges that you've come across in your life being visually impaired and blind?
Oh, I feel like I've gone through so much.
What was school days like for you?
Oh, hard. So actually that's one of my biggest challenges was accepting my blindness. I did not accept it in high school, mm-hmm. at all. Mm-hmm. So that's a big deal for me. I was accepting it, using my cane. Oh, I hated using my cane.
And why is that?
I don't know. I felt like it was an embarrassment or ashamed, or I'm different, or I look weird, or I know that people just stare at you like they've never seen a blind person before. And it was a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm over it. I use it every day, and I love it. I need it. It's my tool. Like, I was so used to having people guide me or help me, and I feel more free and more independent with my cane.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big curve that I had to get through.
When did you start really using your cane more?
When I left my ex-husband in 2019.
Oh.
He actually didn't let me use it. He did
Really?
not. He wanted. Yes. No. He was not a great person, so it was a lot of control.
Okay.
And wanted me to be dependent on him.
Okay.
Yes. And so, coming out of that divorce, it was not just finding myself, finding my independence as well.
Congratulations.
Yes.
That's awesome for you to have that independence. Do you feel freer now?
Oh, I feel free. I feel peace. I feel confident. I feel everything.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely shows on my TikTok.
Yeah, it does for sure. And we're gonna make sure that link is to your TikTok is in our show notes for this. I want to talk to you about being a visually impaired blind mom. How old are your kids?
I have a 12-year-old, an 8 and 7-year-old.
My goodness, what's how's that like for them and for you?
In the beginning, it was hard, just having to teach your kids what blindness is. It was difficult, so difficult, and I feared a lot of maybe I'm like, if they're like showing me something like their homework or something, and then I can't see it, I can't help them.
Mm-hmm.
So there were all these fears and doubts of I can't do this. But now technology's come such a long way. We have so many can do to use to read your kids' homework or things like that. But now that they're older, oh my God, they're amazing. And they're going to be amazing men one day. I'm excited for them.
Excellent. Are they helping mom out now?
Oh, they help me out all the time. It's like, Mom, do you need help this? You want me to get this for you? Mom, I got the door for you. Mom, can you see? Do you need more light? Oh, don't trip on that. It's always something.
That's so awesome. It's great. I mean, my kids are in their 20s and almost 18 now. So I kind of have the same thing, that you were going through when they were younger. It's like, how are you going to manage being a parent to somebody who is, they're sighted and I'm visually impaired, and this is going to be a challenge. But as you say, you get through it, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about the technology that you have been using to help out, because maybe there's somebody right now that is going kind of through what you've been going through. Maybe their kids are younger and they're just starting school. So what pieces of technology do you use to help with homework?
Currently, my OrCam.
Right.
Yes. My OrCam, my iDevice that, so it's like a small device that's the size of your index finger, and it like attaches to a pair of glasses.
Yep.
And it's the talking camera. So I will literally just place a piece of paper up, where it's facing the camera, and it just reads the whole thing out to me now. And
now you can find out those nasty comments the teachers are leaving on your kids' report cards.
Oh my gosh, I could never see those.
So not only is the OrCam life-changing for you, but now your children cannot get away with having bad comments on their report cards.
I hated it when they would even write with like light colors and make comments with light colored pen or marker. And I'm like, I cannot see that.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Excellent. Now, do you use any apps on your phone that you use too?
I've used My Finder here and there, and Seeing AI.
Seeing AI. Those are two really good apps too, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Now, the other thing is you're a massage therapist. You've been doing this for 8 years, you say. How did you get into that? And what do your clients think about you being visually impaired?
Well, it's funny. When I graduated high school, I wanted to be a nurse.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I went straight to ACC thinking that I was going to be a nurse. And then they were like, maybe you should rethink about your career with your vision, situation. And so then I'm like, okay. So then I let that go. And then I thought about, I love playing piano. And so I wanted to go to the Art Institute. It was like a music school. And I wanted to become a private piano teacher for kids.
Okay.
And so I did that for a little bit. And it was just like, reading. I couldn't see the notes. I can't read notes anymore. I couldn't do this anymore. And it was just turning into something that I just felt was like my passion was being taken from me with the piano.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, I don't know, one day at the age of 24, I woke up and I was like, I think I want to be a massage therapist. I think that's going to be a best fit for me.
Excellent. And did you know, do you do that out of your house, or do you do it in where do you do it?
I actually work for a chiropractor that I've been with for 8 years.
Oh, isn't that awesome? Cool.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the videos that I saw you with was you actually looking at your schedule for the first time.
Yes, on the computer screen. I've never been able to see my schedule because I can't read the computer screen. So my OrCam, my iDevice, helps me read it now. My boss would usually write it down on a big piece of paper, like really big. And I just like use my camera, take a picture of it and zoom in. Oh, I hated it. It was such a process.
Putting the OrCam, my device on yourself or on the glasses, what was that like for the first time that you used it? And I mean, it's given you a certain amount of freedom.
Yes. It was mind blowing. There's no words that I can express. It was just like, wow, this is amazing. I love this. And then finding out that it does voice commands and it tells you what's in front of you, or finding out that it can detect people and you can recognize faces. It was just like, oh my God, I love it. It's awesome.
It's a game changer for you.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
What advice would you give others who are visually impaired and blind?
Never give up. That's my biggest one. Never giving up. Don't say you can't. Anything is possible. Don't disable yourself. Don't let anybody disable you. And moving forward, just keep pushing forward.
Mm-hmm. And what do you say to the sighted community?
So much. I feel like the sighted people, fully sighted people, I wish, or maybe needs to be a little bit more educated with the blind spectrum. I feel like I've learned a lot just through the blind community of how uneducated people are with blindness, but they're so educated with deaf. So it's just it's interesting how that is.
Interesting.
Yes.
You're the first person to bring that up. That's quite an interesting look at it.
Yes. It's like, I don't know how many times I would get comments of, how are you listening and dancing to the music if you can't see?
And that blows my mind. And I know you've said that, and that blows my mind.
It does. Or it's like, when I'm out in public, I can example. I went to a DMV recently to get my Texas ID renewed, and a person comes up to my boyfriend and is just talking to him, and I'm like, "You can talk to me, sir. I can hear you."
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've always gone through that, right? We've always told people who are fully sighted, "I'm blind, not deaf. You don't have to yell at me."
Yes, I don't understand. Like, it's just, I don't understand. I think they think that deaf and blindness just has to come together, but they don't truly understand what blind is. It's just like, you can't hear. That's all they know. It's so weird.
So what do we have to do to educate people more?
That's what I'm doing on my TikTok, is explaining the blind spectrum. There are different levels of blindness. Some people can see a little bit. Some people can't see colors. Some people can see colors. It's so different. And then I think that people are like, oh, what's it like, being in a pitch black room? And it's like, but not everybody's going to see a pitch black room. Like, for me, an example, it's just non-existent. It doesn't exist. So like when I wave my hand in front of my left eye, I can't see out of,
yep.
It's not black. I just don't see it. It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hey, I know what you're going through. I've always wondered what it would be like to see out the right side of my head, but I've never seen that. So there you go. Kimberly, where do people find you online, on social media?
My TikTok is Kimberly Ann 80. I do have an Instagram and a YouTube, but it's hard to keep up with all platforms. But I'm mainly on TikTok.
You are. That's where
Yes.
I'm seeing you're posting all the time.
Yes, I try to.
There you go. Kimberly Ann, thanks very much for hanging out with us here on Blind Like Me. We totally appreciate your time, and good luck with everything you're doing, and congratulations for getting into the OrCam thing. I think that's great, and I'm so happy that it's, changed your life, and keep doing what you're doing. Keep educating people.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to Blind Like Me.
If you have a story idea or you'd like to share information about new assistive technology,
Visit us at blindlikeme.net.
or send an email to info@timblackonair.com.
Blind Like Me is a timblackonair.com production.